How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, shapes, and forms, and welcome to another edition of Animu Wut Do. As always, I am Greg, and I'm joined here by Mira. Say hello. And we're also joined here by May. Say hello.
Hello.
And the three of us are going to be talking about a show and a new series that I'm sure is going to get a better name by the time that that this episode comes out. I'm currently calling this Current Shows You Should Be Watching. And today we're going to talk about a show that I want everyone to be watching. And I swear by this show. We all swear by this show. It's a really good show. It's called Gangsta. And it's really a really good, kind of weird, dark, fucked up, quirky show. And it's fucking great. And I love it. And it seems to have gained enough traction to even warrant a simulcast dub that's playing right now and stuff like that. But we'll get to that in a little bit. So we're going to talk about Gangsta for the next 30 to 45 minutes and all that fun stuff. So I guess before we should jump into this and kind of talk about the show in general, I guess we should kind of talk about how did we all find out about Gangsta? Because it seemed to have just come out of nowhere.
Okay, so you want to know how each of us found out about it?
Yeah, like how, because
Okay.
I remember I found out about it from you. Like I want to know.
Okay,
Like,
so basically, I think I was looking at the anime summer list, the chart, because, like, you know how they, I don't know if you know, but they make frequently every season, like every, what do you call it, month, or
every
series,
anime season.
every anime season, you know, with corresponding to the 4 seasons we have in the world. They always put one up, and there was one that caught my eye called Gangsta, and I read the summary, and it basically, you know, they usually, what they do is in anime charts, they'll do the name of the show, and then they'll give a summary of what the show's about. And I read the summary, and it looked really interesting. I was like, oh, this seems like a really interesting show. Well, the first episode had come out when we were at AX, so I was a bad person, and I found a way to watch it. That's all I'm going to say.
You watched it before me, right?
Yeah, I watched it for you. I watched it like you were doing stuff, and I was sitting in the. I was sitting at the desk in the hotel, and I was watching it because I was curious,
Right.
and it was really, really good. Like, it just, from the first episode, it took off, and I was like, oh wow, this is already good. If the first episode hooks you in, you know it's a good show.
Right, yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you.
So I found out of it, I think, from one of my anime pages that I watch, like the anime trending page, something like that.
Right.
One of the many that they make. And then I told you, Greg, and you were like, I told you the summary, and you're like, oh, this looks really good, and blah, blah, blah. And
I want to say it was right before it came out. I think it was like a week before AX. You were on one of your anime trending sites, and you're like, oh, hey, there's a show, like, here's the show's coming out, and you were kind of scrolling through, and you already knew it was on there. And then, like, I stopped you when I saw the image for Gangsta. I'm all, what the fuck is this? And then I read the summary. I'm all, oh shit, that sounds really good. I need to check this out. And you're like, yeah, it does. I'm excited to check it out. And then I remember you told me you watched it at AX. I'm all, oh, yo, like, you gotta hook me up. And then when we came back from AX, we watched it again.
Mhm.
Or you the second time. I watched it for the first time when we came back from AX. And I was like, yo, like, so can we get episode 2 right now? Like, real talk, let's get episode 2 right now. That'd be great. So I found out about it through you, May. And then, Mira, how did you find out about it?
I kept hearing you and May talk about the show, and I didn't know exactly what it was supposed to be about. But then I was seeing cosplay pictures from our friend Christine, because she cosplayed Nick. And basically she was all like, the first episode's finally out, so I finally sat down and watched it after some searching, and I was just like, oh, I like it. And then more episodes came out, and I fell in love with it, and I was like, yay.
It's wonderful. It really, I think May hit it, like, perfectly, that it starts from the word go. Like, it really, like, you're thrown into the first episode. Like, there's no, like, introduction, really, in the first episode. It's just, like, here's the opening, and you're like, what the fuck? And then it just throws you right in, and you're all, oh, shit. All right, cool. This is awesome. Yeah,
That's
like
probably one of the best opening songs to an anime I've heard in a while.
It really is. It's so, that opening song is fucking, it not only goes well with the show, with, like, not just the song itself, but, like, the visuals, like, they do with it, but it's just such a good song. It's such a catchy, crazy, like, intense, like, pounding electro, like industrial song, and it's so good.
I think like Gangsta is one of those shows that I have yet to find anybody say that it sucks. I have never found anyone say that. I've always seen people say like, "Oh, this show is really good. Oh, the storyline is really, really intriguing." So that's how you know it's a good show. If like I have yet to actually find anyone that does.
Yo,
not...
you know it's good because like it really seems like cosplayer Kenneth Ting, he really seems picky in what he watches. It seems like, and he was even saying this show has me at bare minimum super intrigued to see what's going to happen because I'm like hooked and I can't explain why. And I think that's explaining it a lot for everyone who's watched the show. It kind of reminded me of what happened with Death Parade. That for me, both Death Parade and Gangsta came out of nowhere. Like I had no clue this was a show, and they're both shows that you told me to just check out. Or okay, Death Parade was more like you had already seen it and you wanted me to check it out, but like you were like, we should check out Gangsta. I'm like, this looks really good. And it's currently airing right now. But at the time of this recording, episode 8 will have come out. I think by the time this episode actually comes out, episode 9 will already be out. So there's more that's happened that we'll talk about later. That will have happened from this point, but we won't be talking about that obviously. Because I think only Mira's seen episode 8 so far, and I'm going to watch episode 8 in a little while. But and then, obviously, we're a week out from episode 9, but, I mean, we record these ahead of time, obviously. So, no, this is a really kind of awesome show. It caught me off guard, and it's like, it caught me off guard in such a good way, because it's like, it showed up, and then it's like, oh my god, this is, like, really good. And didn't you, May, like, after watching the first episode, you marathon the manga?
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna read the manga. It shouldn't be too long.
That's awesome, man.
And I was right because it's still not done.
Nice. It's all good.
Episode chapter 37 just barely came out.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. No, it's just fucking this show. Yeah, you're right. I haven't seen anyone say that it sucks. I think everyone's saying, man, this is really good. And this is already making me torn for anime of the year. And we're barely past halfway through the year. Because, like, I thought for certain Death Parade was going to be my anime of the year, and then Gangsta happened, and I'm like, oh no, now I'm conflicted because Gangsta's really fucking good. I love it. I love it a lot. And a lot of cool shit that's up with all these characters. I love kind of how quirky, each of them has their own quirk, and it's like it kind of works because nobody's like aside from the little girl in the show, like no one is innocent, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone has some sort of baggage associated with them, and it just, again, it feels real, and I love it. In fact, I guess we'll just transition right into the general discussion of the plot before we go into spoilers. How would you, like, if you were gonna pitch this show to someone to check out, like, how would you explain the show to them? We'll start with May.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's a show about a dude who fucks bitches and gets one after killing some dudes. Another dude who can't hear for shit and kicks your ass without even trying, and a prostitute who's badass. And there might be a little girl who's a doctor secretly.
Yo, real talk, that's actually the show. Like, you're not wrong. That's why it's so great.
I was like, I don't know where I'm going to go with this. I'm like, I'll just come up with something.
That's wonderful. I mean, that is the show.
And technically, it's not spoiling that Nick is deaf because it's like in the very first fucking episode anyway.
Well, it's in the first episode. I mean,
yeah, as I said, it's in the first episode. You're not really spoiling anything.
What?
You're not really spoiling anything.
What?
It's first.
Are you getting what I'm doing now?
Yes, I'm getting.
I'm sorry. All right, Mira, how would you pitch this to someone?
Oh God. A former mercenary who is deaf and his contract holder live together with a former prostitute, and they take on jobs downtown. It's gay.
It's gay.
It's gay.
Well, I mean, why not?
Well, I mean, why not? Nice. Nice. No, if I was to pitch this to someone, God, it's kind of weird because I wouldn't want to spoil that Nick is deaf, per se. I would be all, so these two very interesting individuals who are called handymen.
Interesting.
Really, no. Bring in a former prostitute and shit goes down from there. Like, I would want to keep it super vague and be like, so there's these two badasses that kind of are freelance in a way, that are called handymen, and they each have their own kind of quirk, and they take in a former prostitute, and they all kind of get shit done. I don't know. This is weird. Like, trying to keep it vague.
Get shit done.
They do get shit done. I mean, have you seen what they've done? See that shit? It got done. Like, seriously. No, it's hard because there's so much to it, which we might as well just jump right on into spoilers. So, as you could see, I always like to call this out. Spoilers are abound at this section right now. Hey, we got a good 10 minutes of non-spoiler stuff. I'm happy. So, we're going to talk just plot stuff and spoilers and stuff like that. Just for the anime, though. We're not going to spoil anything from the manga because I think only May would know a lot of shit about the manga. But no, alright, so we've already talked about it. Nick is deaf, and Warwick is a gigolo, and Alex is, I say former prostitute because she's not out fucking dudes right now.
Right now.
Right now. Well, you
right
don't
this
know.
Instant, she's not right now, but maybe 20 minutes from now she might do that. You don't know.
I don't know. She might get an urge. She might realize how hot Warwick looks and be like, "Yo, hey, what's up?" And then Warwick would be all like, "Yo, I like to fuck women. Yo, what's up?" No, I'm just saying. I'm being an idiot. No, okay, so yeah, dude, the whole thing of finding out about Nick being deaf was super cool. Like, I love the fact that that's his big quirk, and they play with that so much. Like, even later on, at least where we're at right now in the anime, the fight with, was it Doug? Mm-hmm. Where, like, Doug is just going on and on and on and on talking to Nick, and Nick's not acknowledging him, which is pissing him off even more. And then after the fight, Doug's all kind of beat to shit, but, like, after they were, like, healing up, he's all, "I had no clue you were deaf." He's all like, "So I was talking for nothing." It's all, holy shit. I like how they're kind of messing with that. And then you go into like his backstory and how they kind of like the place he was brought into was like, he's a Twilight. He's gonna die young. You shouldn't get attached. Like he's already got a death wish. You know, he's already got his death mark, and his days are already numbered. So just kill him. Leave him for dead. And it's like, yo, that's fucked, dude. That's really fucked.
I guess you could say he already has his own death parade.
What was that?
Gangsta is one of those shows, it's like fucking Game of Thrones. You probably don't want to get attached to anyone because in this world, I'm pretty sure anyone can die. The author could probably be like, "I don't want Nick and Warwick to be here anymore." So he or she, whoever writes the manga, could just fucking kill him off anytime.
I'm scared for Nick because they keep setting up that, like, you know, he's a Twilight and Twilights die at a young age. And I mean, it may not have happened yet in the anime or in the manga, but I'm scared for in the future because they seem to be making that a point quite a lot, that it's like Twilights are born with a defect, and thus because they are who they are, they have short lifespans. And I'm kind of really scared for that, if that makes sense. Because, you know, just the way that they're setting up is that something tragic might happen to Nick. And they're trying to set it up as this is how things have to happen. And I don't want it to happen like that. I really don't. But it could. You know, I'm sure it hasn't happened in the manga yet because it's still, you know, it's still going with the main characters. Like, that'd be something that happened at the end. Like, but, like, that would be really fucked, man. I don't know. I think one of the things I love the most is the way that they set up this weird kind of like, it's a weird world that's obviously a fictional world, but it seems like a place that could actually exist.
Yeah.
You know, it's really kind of interesting. Yeah, the whole thing with like, I feel so bad for both Nick and Warwick, like from their backstory, because like Nick just kind of being left on his own, and he watched his father kill his mother, right?
Oh, sorry, I blinked out for my, yeah.
It was his father that killed his mother. I remember they mentioned it in one of the episodes. That was
For
like,
Nick, right?
yeah, we're talking Nick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he killed her because she was some whore, and he was like, I don't. He got her pregnant, so of course, the logical conclusion is, oh, I got this bitch pregnant. Now she has a. Now we have a kid. Oh, I better kill her.
Yo, that's logic. Yeah, totally.
That's logic. Yeah, you
That's
pregnant? Well, give birth, and then we'll kill you.
Yeah, seriously. And then like Warwick's backstory of like his abusive father, and like that hits home to me. Not the father, but the abusive mother. An abusive parent, if you will. That hits home. No, that is like, I feel so bad because like you look at Warwick now, and then you look at Warwick as a kid, and they're two completely different people. Like they literally are. Like, Warwick as a kid seems like he comes from a high family, a really rich household. He's been taught to be proper. He's been taught to kind of he's been taught to to do what the non-plebeians do, and now he's living with the plebeians.
Not plebeian.
Well, I mean, he comes from a rich household, so they look down on the fucking like real talk though.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong.
Real talk though, like in his family's eyes.
Well, I mean,
Nick
you're
is
not wrong.
No, I'm not. Like in Nick's in their eyes, Nick is a plebeian because he comes from a military father and a whore of a mother, and he's a Twilight. Like that's like,
in
and
that respect, Warwick's dad thinks Warwick's a plebeian too because he doesn't even care for him because I don't know if you saw it, but in the anime, it reveals that Warwick's mom was like some random whore he just picked up. So
Nick's mom.
Yeah, Warwick's mom was a whore. Like,
Wait, Warwick's mom was a whore too?
Yeah, like the reason why, okay, I don't know if it said it, but the reason why his dad hated him is because he was just some chick that he banged and had Warwick, and so that's why.
Shit! So he's not like a pure blood.
Yeah, he's not full blood. That's why I started laughing. I'm like, oh, the plebeians. Yeah, Warwick is only half because his mom was like some random chick that the dad banged.
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it said in the anime. I thought it did.
I don't think so.
I don't remember it, but that could be just because my memory is shit.
The reason why his dad beats him and hates him is because his mom was just some random chick he banged and had him, and he's like, oh, well, you're not my real son. So that's why he fusses over his actual wife and the other son because, they're full blood. Warwick's only half, so he's like, oh, you're a...
So he's like the redheaded stepchild, basically.
Oh, that nobody loves, yes. So that's why his dad beats him, because he's like, oh, I can't remember. It was an episode where he's like...
Well, I mean, if his dad had kept it in his pants, he wouldn't have had to worry about it.
Yeah.
I think in the episode where he hurt his eye, he even said oh, you're just like you're a whore of a mother or something like that.
Okay, it was mentioned in passing. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
His mom was a whore. Yeah.
God, can we talk about that scene when you find out about Warwick losing his eye?
Ugh.
Oh God. Where they're sitting there, and I don't know if they explain even more in the newest episode. But basically, from what I remember, and I had to pause this scene because it was just way too intense. But his father, it was Warwick found cigarettes and started smoking, and he's like a kid, but that's usually when kids, when longtime smokers kind of start learning to smoke is when they're kids. So he starts smoking. Well, his dad finds out, starts beating the shit out of him, and what he does is he grabs the cigarette that's still lit. And
burns his eye?
digs it into his digs it into Warwick's eye, and then that's when Nick goes fucking beast mode and fucking murders everyone, it seemed like.
Well, also it pretty much implied that the reason why Nick even killed him is because Warwick was panicking and basically...
It basically was like he killed him because of the damage they were doing to Warwick, basically.
And I think I can't remember if it showed it, but he was muttering something about how he wanted to kill them. So Nick did it because also Warwick was the very first person that was nice to him. So in a way, oh, you're my friend. You're hurting my friend. You need to stop.
Seriously, and that's the only way he knows how to do it. And especially when it comes to abuse, I don't blame Nick. It's kind of weird. It's fucked up that Nick kills Warwick's family.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel bad for the family because the family is a piece of shit, especially to Warwick.
As soon as I'm done with this, I'm leaving right after. I'm gonna get dressed.
So it's kind of weird that
And yeah, so
what's it called? It's really kind of weird that like
to Greg's house.
like you don't feel bad for the family being killed when like at first you're kind of like you find out that it seems like it's Nick that killed the family and you're like, what the fuck, why did Nick kill the family? And then you learn more about the family and then you're just sitting there kind of like,
say it's already 3:51. I mean,
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
No. I guess I can take her if you really need me to.
Well, I'll let me ask her.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right, this is the first one we're gonna have to edit.
Sorry, it's real quick. It's because it's about Caitlin, and yeah, my mom was like asking me questions about Caitlin, so I had to respond.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll edit it right after I'm done here. That way I don't forget to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna backtrack a little bit because I'm talking about Nick's or like the way Nick killed Warwick's family.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll just backtrack for a moment. It's an easy cut. So 3. I'm gonna count down to do a 3, 2, 1 so I know when to jump back in. So 3, 2, 1. No, the weird part about the whole thing about setting up, that Nick killed the family was you first kind of see it and you kind of like, wait, what the fuck? Why did Nick kill his family? That's really fucked up. And you think that it's like Nick did it for like some like weird reason because he was a Twilight or something, or just like there is something that snapped in him. When you find out about what really happened, it's like, oh, it's because Warwick's family is a piece of shit and kind of had it coming with the way that they treated Warwick. It's kind of weird how they kind of shift that around. Like, yeah, it's fucked up that that's what had to happen, but you don't feel bad for the family.
Mhm.
So yeah, I like that a lot because it also plays into what I was saying earlier about the aside from Nina, everyone has their own baggage.
Yeah.
It's like they're like Nick and Warwick's past is like their baggage, and then Alex dealing with like her past and the whole thing with Barry is like her baggage and like shit like that. It's really kind of crazy. And then the constant nightmares that Warwick has about shit, which again, it's home because when don't I have nightmares? No, it's kind of really crazy. I'd say, and then there's Mira over here. Like every time there's more backstory, she just like cries for Nick more and more.
Because Nick is my baby, and I'm just like, no, Nick, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna wait again.
Oh, nothing's happening. You can keep on.
Oh, okay. Counting down again. 3, 2, 1. Okay, where do I go from here? You said Nick is your baby. So yeah, Nick is your baby. I guess I should translate into like or transition into like our favorite characters and maybe why. Who are your guys' favorite characters?
Okay, so I like a bunch of the characters. I like Work because he's at times like some of the shit he does just cracks me up because it's really ridiculous. I'm like, what? And then I like Nick because he's cute. Like, I think when he first showed that he was deaf and just did his hand signs, I don't know. Just to me, he comes off as like really cute and adorable, even though he's like this guy that can fucking kick your ass in like 5 seconds.
He can.
And will slice you up if you piss him off. And just a lot of these characters, like, I just like them because they're just really well-rounded out characters and whatnot. And so I just really like them because they flesh out a lot of their quirks, their habits. And I like Delico because he's so cute.
Delico, apparently you say some tragic shit happens to Delico.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to say because it's like a huge ass reveal, and I don't know if the anime is even going to go into it, but just, I feel so bad for Delico. Like, there's something happens, like, later on he finds out something, and he just, like, is, like, in a state of shock, because he's like, what the hell is happening? And whatnot, and he gets betrayed, and it sucks.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, so I just feel really bad, and it's terrible. All these characters just have some shit that happens to them in their life.
Yeah,
it's
seriously.
not fair, but that's what happens.
Right. Mira, I know you kind of touched on it, but who's your favorite character and why?
Nick.
Why do you like Nick?
Why do you like Nick?
I don't know, like, for some reason, I just kind of gravitated toward him. And then whenever I found out he was deaf, it kind of made me love him a little more because I was born with hearing problems and I still kind of have to deal with my own shit. It's not like to his extent where he was born deaf and whatnot, but it hit a little bit home with me.
No, that totally makes sense. What part, I mean, you don't have to relate it to your own life, but what parts hit home, at least in Nick's backstory to you?
I don't know. Well, I mean, he seems like he was a kid that never really got to have a childhood, and technically that's kind of true for me since, like, when my sister was born, I had to pretty much grow up and take care of her.
God, sounds like...
And I was like 10 at the time.
Damn. Wow. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
So, and then for me, I hate to break the Nick train, but Warwick is my absolute favorite.
You're on the Warwick train. Choo choo.
Woo woo! The Warwick train has no brakes. The Warwick train, the fuck train. What's the difference?
Exactly.
No, I can't really explain it.
It's
the hair.
What?
He's a suave motherfucker in the hair.
He's hot. Hey, he's dreamy.
He is in there.
If given the opportunity,
guy,
I would
dreamy.
totally pay for his goods and services. Yeah, you're right. No, but in all honesty, though, I think the thing that I love about Warwick the most is, like, I don't know, it's kind of weird to relate to myself, but it's like he was the kid that, like, nobody seemed to care about. And now he's kind of like this drinking, smoking piece of shit that's, like, kind of, like, lovable in his own way. And that's me. That's practically me. At least to one of my parents, I was the piece of shit child who should have never existed. And I know that's really kind of personal to admit, but it's like now I'm the guy that has a cool little job, smokes hookah from time to time, drinks a lot of alcohol, and seem to be charming in my own way. It's just, no, but like, in all honesty, it's like his whole backstory of, like, having that one parent specifically that's like, you should have never been born. That hits home. And I'm like, it's okay, man. It's okay. I feel you. It's okay. I totally feel you. And then I love his dynamic with Alex, like, a lot, because of the whole, like, she's got her own bullshit going on, yes, but it's like, how do I want to explain it? It's like, he knows that he's got his own bullshit, but that Alex has these demons she's dealing with, so it's like he's kind of setting everything aside to make sure she's okay. And then it becomes vice versa at times, where she goes to repay the favor to make sure that he's okay, like when he wakes up from another one of his fucking nightmares and shit like that. And I don't know, I felt like, going more into his backstory, I fell in love with Warwick. I'm like, I love him. And then at first I was like, oh yeah, I'll cosplay Warwick because, Mira says she eventually wants to be Nick, and I'm like, and we had a friend that wants to be Alex, and then May over here is going to be Erica. And it's like,
if
hey,
they ever
I'll
show more of her in the anime, that's like the one thing
I know
half the time. Like, okay, like, to be honest, speaking of cosplay, like, they show her in the anime, and I know what she looks like in the manga. Like, there's color covers of her, but I'm one of those people that I like to see in the anime so I can see the detail and, like, what colors I need, because manga and anime are two different things when it comes to color. One could be one color, and then another could be another color, and it's like, okay, which fucking color do I go with? So that's why I just need to see details, like what it looks like, what her hair is going to look like in the anime, like how does it move, things like that. I know I got technical, but that's the reason why
that
I
makes sense.
Prefer anime stuff.
No, that totally makes sense. But, like, yeah, at first I was like, oh, I'll cosplay Warwick, and I'll be the cool suave guy. No, but I love just Warwick's backstory, and I just fell in love with him. I'm like, I'm so happy. It's awesome, and I love it. It's great, and I'm super happy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, God, what else do we want to talk about before kind of getting into, like, the final bit that I have? I don't have a question this week, But I do kind of have a thing related to a rule that we have as far as anime goes. It's gonna be kind of a little different. But is there anything else we want to talk about before we get off the spoilers?
Well, see, I want to go into Delico's backstory, but I don't want to ruin it for you guys.
Please don't ruin it.
So fucking, like, it's so tragic and ironic that, like, the thing that he's trying to do, like, look for, because he's looking for stuff, like, is just so fucking close, and he doesn't even know it, and then, like, when he does it just hits him, like, with in the face with, like, a ton of bricks. Like, it just smacks him, and it's like, well, fuck. And I just feel so bad, because it's like, ah!
And, like, in the anime, you don't know too much about Delico, except that he's there.
You don't. Like, in the manga, it goes in a little bit more, but in the anime, you know nothing.
Yeah, so I'm like, what's important about Delico? Because it just seems like, hey, I'm here. It's like, you're like, no, he's important.
He is. He is important. I just can't tell you, because then it'll ruin the thing.
Don't ruin it.
And it's just like,
there's no spoilers.
That's all I want to
It's
say.
tearing away at me. Wow.
I know you want to talk about Delico, but we can't.
I know.
So, all right, so I think we're good on the spoiler talk. I really think we are. So I want to get off of spoilers right now. Welcome back, people who are just now joining. So usually by the time we get to this part of Animu Wut Do, we usually kind of ask a question that's like related to the show and kind of like what would you do or something like that. But this one's kind of an interesting deal because this show is still currently airing. And it's a show that is it's airing right now in Japanese, or on they just finished episode 8 as of right now, but by the time this episode comes out, episode 9 will have already been out. And for the people who watch dubbed, Lord God forbid, sorry, we're dubbed trash, don't mind us. Episode, I think 4 will be out by then. Yeah, episode 4 will be out by then because this comes out on Thursdays. And so you have a cool little jumping in point and stuff like that for the show. But I really think that you should exercise something with this show called the 3-episode rule. And I would like to have May explain what the 3-episode rule is for a moment before we continue.
Okay, so if most people tend to know what it is, but just in case if you don't know, what the 3-episode rule is that whenever you start a new anime, if it doesn't appeal to you, most people say to try and watch the first 3 episodes so you can at least get an idea of what it's supposed to be. If after you finish the 3rd episode, if it still is not that appealing to you, then you can drop it because, 3 episodes.
Right. So that's the 3-episode rule, and that's something that we kind of tend to follow when it comes to anime. Although we just finished recording a podcast where we talked about shows that we dropped the 3-episode rule because we hated it so much. But no, that being said, I think this show, I guess we can go around, this will be the kind of question, and we kind of went over what the first 3 episodes were. Do you think the first 3 episodes paint a really good picture of what the show is kind of all about?
Okay, so you want me to describe what the show's about?
Oh, no, you don't have to describe the episodes. Just, do you think the first 3 episodes of Gangsta paint the show, like, gives an accurate representation of what the show is about and what you're getting into?
Oh, sorry, I misheard.
I'm sorry if I confused you on the question.
It's okay. No, yeah, I think so. Especially, like, the first episode, it does get into a little bit of it, but I think by the 2nd and 3rd, when you watch those, it really, really takes you into the world, and you know what you're getting into. You know what Warwick and Nicholas do. You know who Alex is. You just, all these characters, they tell you who they are, what they do, what kind of world they live in, why they do what they do. And just, yeah, it sets you up in a way that you can easily get into it. I mean, yeah, you're probably still going to have questions after, like, certain episodes, because, I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah,
whenever
seriously.
they watch a show. But yeah, I think it sets it up pretty well, nicely, and it helps. It takes you on a journey, like a crazy journey through the show.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about you, Mira? Do you think the first 3 episodes of Gangsta really kind of accurately paint how the show, kind of what the show is all about and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Was that it? Were you going to add more to it? I'm sorry. I didn't want to cut you off.
That was it.
No, you're good. Alrighty, cool. I absolutely agree. I think the first 3 episodes, because the first 3 episodes are kind of like, it's kind of weird that like first episode kind of shows you like the characters themselves, and you're like, all right, so these are the characters you're kind of gonna be set up with. Episode 2, you kind of start learning some things about the characters. Episode 3, you learn even more things about the characters, but it's like interesting subplots are going on at the same time as you're learning about like the history of these characters. And that's what I absolutely love, is that like they kind of put a little bit of it, like a very, very, very small amount of it into like the first episode. Where at least we're just like, because first episode, and this isn't much spoilers, when you find out Nick is deaf. And you're like, oh, okay. How has this affected him his whole life? And that starts the kind of spiral into all these questions that you want answered. And as the series has gone on, and it's like by the time you at least get to the 3rd episode, it has enough answers, but so many more interesting questions that you want to know. And I absolutely love that, and it's phenomenal. So I agree with you guys. It's absolutely perfect and amazing, and I love it. So yeah, we think that the first 3 episodes are an accurate representation of the show, and kind of really not only prepare you for what you're getting yourself into, but really kind of plant the seed of why everyone is digging this show, and I absolutely love it. So I guess that answers the question, would you recommend somebody check out this show since it's currently airing right now?
Would I recommend it since it's on right
Yeah,
now?
like I guess that, as I said, again, my wording sucked. I guess it answers the question, but I'll ask it anyway. Would you recommend this to somebody?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Definitely. Same with you, Mira?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. I've been trying to recommend it to a couple people, actually. And now that it's dubbed, I'm going to try to pitch the show to my manager at work, because he kind of is familiar with anime and little things here and there. I want to desperately try to. And he loves kind of like more gruesome stuff and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to pitch it to him. And be like,
I'm basing this on a thing I read on Facebook when someone posted a story. But this show really is not for kids.
oh, no. I'm going to
Should
make that very
not
clear.
be
I'm gonna
watching
make
this, especially the very first episode. There's already like sex going on, and
Alex gets banged from behind because you see
I'm
her
like-
There's sex, decapitation, there's a lot of blood.
Dude, it's my kind of show.
like this show is definitely not for little kids by any means. I bring this up because I think it was on like Anime Expo fans on Facebook, and somebody said that they got shown this show, and they said that it's because their 6-year-old cousin was watching it. I'm like, why in the world is a 6-year-old watching this show?
And it wasn't like that the person posting in the group was introduced them to it. It was the person in the group was introduced to the show by their 6-year-old cousin, and it's like, what?
Yeah, it's like, no, little kids.
Maybe that kid's grown up in the streets, so he already knows the struggle.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah,
You already know
totally.
the struggle. You already know the struggle is real, so he relates in some
So,
regards.
yeah, this show is just not for kids.
It's not for kids, but it's really fun.
really good.
It really is. And it's like, I was kind of maybe worried at first, like in the first episode. I guess there was a lingering worry, and it wasn't like something that put me off to it. It's just, there was a lingering worry of like, I didn't want them to do something in poor taste, if that makes sense, because of the kind of show that it is. And as of right now, they absolutely have not done that, and that makes me super happy. It's like, anything gruesome or sexual or anything that happens has some sort of importance to the plot in some way, shape, or form. Like, it absolutely does. Like even as simple as like when you see, Warwick with a customer. It's when you first find out that, what the deal is with Warwick. And I'm keeping this vague because we're out of spoilers. It's like you kind of find out the thing with Warwick, and it's like, oh, okay, this is the thing that he does. And then I would absolutely say it for all of you lovely men, Alex is pretty hot. For all of you lovely women, Nick is a sweetheart who's kind of hot. And then there's Warwick. You get a lot of naked Warwick in this show.
And if you want some pretty boys, Delico's right up your alley.
And there's Delico as well. Yeah, there's a little fan service for everyone.
I'm gonna say, I'm pretty sure, all the men in that show appeals to somebody out there who watches it. There's a little bit of somebody for everybody in that show.
Right, exactly. And then you got the lovely, beautiful Alex, who's wonderful. And before we kind of wrap up this episode of Animu Wut Do, I kind of want to go into a quick little side tangent. We don't usually talk about shipping, but I absolutely love the idea of Alex and Warwick because of shit that's happened in the show. Just kind of the way they help each other. I kind of really enjoy that, and it's one of the few ships May has. And I love it, and it's like there's interactions that are wonderful between the two of them, and it's like even if you don't ship it, you're just like, oh, that's charming. I love it a lot. Like that's great. You know, I love it. It's really cool. And then for Mira, there's the yaoi pairing of Nick and Warwick. If you want that. So.
I do. I'm starting to ship Warwick and Alex, but Nick and Warwick are my primary ship.
Are you really starting to ship Alex and Warwick?
It's cute. I'm like, aw.
They're two. I'll get into it later. I'll tell you guys afterwards. They're two messed up people who are trying to just be okay. You know what I mean? And are trying to help each other out, and I absolutely love it. That's great, and I love that a lot. So, alrighty. So I guess that wraps it up. There's nothing else we want to talk about for Gangsta. So thank you guys.
I thought of a possible question, maybe.
Oh, what was your possible question? I would love to hear it.
Okay, given the fact that the two main characters have some sort of physical trait that they're missing, like Nick has no hearing, Warwick has an eye that's missing. If you were given the opportunity to lose one of your senses, or not opportunity, I suppose, but like
if you had to lose one.
If you had to lose one, which would you choose?
Oh shit. Ooh, Mira with the good questions. I would probably lose my ability to speak.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, as someone who never
That's a
shuts,
shocker for you.
as someone who never shuts the fuck up and wishes he could shut the fuck up. No, in all honesty, though, I think it would be really kind of interesting, you know, being the mute, you know, because it's like you can't talk, like so like you would have to convey everything either through body language or through written means. And I think that could make for a really interesting dynamic, because then, you know, you people are able to read you because you communicate through body language and you communicate through written stuff, and it's like it's kind of weird because it's like you have this whole thought process and it's just you can't vocalize it, and that's just, if I had to lose any sort of anything, it would be my voice.
And there was Greg with the answer.
Hey! Oh, let's see. Did you have an answer, May?
No, because that's a difficult question, even
Lose
for
your
me.
boobs and become a man.
That's not a sense.
No, like, okay, she also said a part of the body either, because she said, you know, Nick is deaf, but Warwick doesn't have an eye.
Oh, well, I guess, okay, then yeah, I guess my tits. Why not? It's easier to cosplay men now.
No, I was just fucking with you, because you're like, I don't have an answer. I'm like, oh, lose your tits.
Well, no, I mean, if you really do think about it, like...
It's like, no, it's a real answer now.
Like, it would be real easy for me, like, talking in a cosplayer sense, it would be easier for me to cosplay men. I would never have to bind because I got no boobs. And, you know, if I want to go shopping for clothes, I don't have to, like, try to figure out, like, what women clothes are going to fit me. All I gotta do is just go to the men's section and be like, oh, hey,
Yo,
I can buy a man t-shirt. Okay, I'm wearing this man t-shirt now.
nice. Man shirt.
Yep.
That's a wonderful answer. What about you, Mira?
As appealing as the lose your boobs answer would be for me,
Naturally.
I would probably give up my sense of taste.
Really? So you'd become a ghoul?
Strictly because I grew up a picky eater, so it's really hard for me to like try new food without getting a little worried about what if I don't like it? I'll be wasting food, blah blah blah. So it would probably help me just to get over it and eat more things, since I wouldn't be able to taste it, and I'd have to eat anyway.
Makes sense. That's an interesting thing to think about.
Hmm.
So this just in, we would lose senses, May would lose her tits. That's going to be the description of the episode. That's all good. It's all good. Alrighty, so I think that's we're about done now. There's nothing else we want to talk about Gangsta.
Go check it out on Funimation.
Yes, please do. Give this show as much support as possible because it's a great show. It just recently got dubbed, or it's just recently getting a dub, which with the way that things are kind of going now is the first step to it getting released on like a box set. Although we're still waiting on a lot of these shows that have been dubbed to be released in like a physical form, but still, like it shows that people are paying attention to the show, and it's awesome that that's happening. And I'm super happy and I'm super excited because it's such a good show that deserves the attention. So go check it out. It's on Funimation's website on their streaming service. And don't worry, people. Yes, we're saying Funimation, but you can watch it both subbed and dubbed. So if you hate dubs, you can watch it in the original Japanese with English subtitles. You don't even have to worry about us dub trash ruining your perfectly good Japanese anime. So thank you guys so much for watching another episode or listening to another episode of Animu Wut Do. I know that we said that we were going to be doing something about Pitch This Anime that was supposed to come out before this. That's going to be coming soon. It's just we've had a lot of things kind of come up, and it's kind of halted that whole deal. So we're going to be doing Pitch This Anime at a later date. But join us next time in Animu Wut Do as we break down what'll be coming up next in the fall season. And we're going to talk about shows we're excited for, shows that we're interested to check out, and all that fun stuff. Kind of break down kind of the excitement of what is going to be coming this fall for anime. So thank you guys so much for listening. We'll catch you guys next time. Tune in next Thursday for another episode of the SnazzyCast. As always, you can check out more content here at youtube.com/thesnazzygamers. We do Long Play Tuesdays, which is our long play Let's Plays, and we do Fun Game Fridays, which is our one-off and short little game series that we play. We have Animu Wut Do, which is the show you're listening to right now, where we talk about any and all types of anime and anime topics and stuff like that. We also have a podcast called the SnazzyCast that airs every other Thursday, which Animu Wut Do airs these every other Thursdays, and then the opposite Thursdays are when the SnazzyCast goes up. And then we have plenty more content on www.thefandomkingdom.com, all that kind of fun stuff. So thank you guys so much for listening. Catch us next Thursday for a new episode of the SnazzyCast, and then the Thursday after that for a new episode of Animu Wut Do, where we talk about the fall anime season coming up and stuff we're excited for. Basically, it's going to be us talking about Haikyuu Season 2 for 45 minutes. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye!